As a follow-up to the last video I did, today I'll be doing a video on drawing lines. Of course, lines is the basics and foundation of every drawing. If you master drawing lines, then you have mastered between 40 to 50% of drawing any object. Now, I've done some training on drawing lines before, but today it's going to be more comprehensive, and I'm going to be showing you things I've not shown you before. Okay, so let's dive in. Now, let me start with different ways you can activate the draw line command. You can start from here and just click on line, and then remember, whenever you activate the command, look at the command line. It says specify first point. Wherever you click becomes the first point, and then wherever you click again become the second point. Anywhere you click again become another point. Anywhere you click again become another point. If I decide to close this object, I can just click on close, and then you close it. Okay. Now I can also initiate it from the line command using my keyboard. Just draw line. So if I draw line or just LI, say line, I click on line. Of course, the line command is activated. So again, the command line says specify first point. So if I click here, it becomes the first point. If I click here, it becomes the next point. If I click here, it becomes the next point. If I click here, it becomes the next point. I can decide also to close it. Okay, and then I click enter to deactivate the command. Okay, we can also come to the main menu here, click on draw, get online, and then the line command is activated again. So specify the first point. If I click here, become the first point. The next place I click become the next point. The next place I click become the next point. The next place I click become the next point. And then I can also close. Okay. Now, let me come here. Please, like if you come here, you see construction line, you see ray, you see multi-line. It's important for us to understand that line command and construction line are not the same. Construction line is an endless line that you use to create boundaries. You don't use it for drawing. Let me give you an example. If I click here now and then the the construction line is activated, say specify first point. If I click here now, it becomes the first point, and I click here, it becomes the second point. Then I click enter. Then we have an endless line. This line is endless. What it simply did is to divide my drawing space into two. Can do some drawings here, and I do some drawings here. Okay, but it is not part of the drawing. So when you want to draw, the actual line you use is the line command. This, or you just type line here. Okay. Okay. So let me clean, just highlight and click delete. Okay. So the next thing I want to show you, how do you now make your line dimensioned? Because in engineering or in sciences, you don't just draw line. You draw line with specific dimensions. Okay. Let me start by, let me use this command now. If I activate the line command and it says specify first point and I click here as this first point and I want my line to go in the vertical direction, I can just point my mouse in the direction I want the line to go. Don't click, just point it in line, I want the line to go, and I click the dimension, let's say 100 mm now. I click 100 mm and I click enter. Okay, so you see this line is 100 mm. Okay, if I click activate the line command again and I want to draw another line, but this time horizontal, I just point the line horizontal direction, I click 100 again, I say enter. Okay, so it give me a second line that is also 100 mm, this time in horizontal direction. Okay, now let me teach you something else. If you want to draw a perfectly straight line, if you want to draw a perfectly straight line, you have what you call auto mode. Auto mode helps you to make your line perfectly straight, but this time it must be either horizontal or vertical. You don't use auto mode to draw inclined line. If I put it on, you see, if I click on it, you put it on, it will change to light blue. Okay, so if I activate the line command again now, you see that the line, even if my hand is shaking, the line will be perfectly straight. Okay, if you see, so we give you a perfectly straight line. But like I said, it's gonna be either vertically or it's gonna be either a vertical or horizontal line. You can't use it to draw an inclined line. Okay, so that is auto mode. Use it to draw a perfectly horizontal or vertical line. Okay, you can also activate it using F8. Okay, so it's on now. If I deactivate it and I can use keyboard, I just type, I just click on F8. You see it's activated. If I click on F8 again, it will be deactivated. So you can activate auto mode by clicking here or by simply typing F8 on your keyboard. Okay. Now let me teach you some other things we need to do. What you call, object tracking. Use object tracking to draw. So we're looking at object tracking. So if you put object tracking on, you'll be able to draw at a determined angle. Like if you see, I just activated a line and you see an angle. I want to draw the line at angle of 30 degrees, for instance. I just move it to get C30. So if I just click here, then the line has been drawn at an angle of 30 degrees from the horizontal. Okay, I can activate another line and start again. I can draw it to an angle of 90 degrees. That is completely vertical line. Okay, so this line is completely a vertical line. It's drawn 90 degrees from the horizontal. Okay, so again, we can draw a line. For instance, activate a line. Okay, and I want to draw the line, say at a line of 100 millimeters, and I want to draw it at an angle of 45. Let me redo it. Sorry, I activate a line. Okay, and I started the line, and then as at 100 mm, and I want to draw it at an angle of 45 degrees. Okay, so you see this line now is 100 mm and is drawn at an angle of 45 degrees from the horizontal. Okay, that's that. Then let me also teach you how to use object snap. Use object snap actually to join two lines perfectly well. If I activate a line again and I want to join it with this, you see, with this object snap on, let me put it off now. You see, if I bring this thing on or here, you see, you don't know whether it is joined or not. If I just draw now, for instance, if I increase this, you see, it joined. But there are some cases you increase it, you find out that it didn't actually join. Okay, so the easiest way to join lines is to put this thing on so that when I come, you see, immediately I bring this thing, there is an indication that it's joined. AutoCAD will simply join it. Okay, you see, it's joined. And if I want to join it here, you bring it here again, it join. So objects not help you to easily join two lines together. Okay, so you don't join two lines without putting the object snap on. You don't try to draw at an angle without putting your object snapping on. You don't try to draw perfectly straight line horizontally or vertically without putting the auto mode on. Okay, please, this, of course, if you want to draw dimension line, make sure that you put the dimension. You activate the line, okay? You move the cursor in the direction you want it to go, and then of course, you now type, if you want it to go at an angle, you put it in the angle, let's say 45 degrees, you just get 45 degrees because the object snap is on. Okay, and you now type the dimension, let's say 200 mm, and you say enter. You see, it gives you a line of 200 mm inclined to an angle of 45 degrees from the horizontal. Okay, so just practice the drawings and the steps that I've just taken right now. And then at the end of the day, you will master how to draw lines, draw perfectly straight line, inclined line, line at an angle, how to join lines, and how to draw lines of a specific dimension. Practice. If you have a question, let me know. We're in this together. The next drawing, I'll be teaching you how to draw circles, arcs, all the tricks and everything you need to know. Keep a date. Please subscribe, like, send to your friends who are also interested in learning AutoCAD. Thank you and God bless you.